Well, good evening and welcome back to the kitchen. This week I was kind of undecided if I wanted to even do a little cooking. Last week we did the Fulvio's Italian sausage and we were outside and it was the hottest day of the year and the phone kept freezing up, which was unfortunate because we were making some great Italian sausage sandwiches. But I decided, and my wife was like, oh, you got to do something. You know, it's Thursday, it's a tradition. So I decided to whip up some Alfredo sauce. It's really super easy. And when I posted, a lot of folks chimed in about how they like to make it, which is great because it is. It's really easy. And I'll tell you, you can't get a whole lot better Alfredo sauce than Costa's makes great with Johnny Costa's. But I can't wait for my friends at Castelli's to reopen because their Alfredo, second to none. Although I'm going to try to make mine as good as theirs, and I know one of their secrets. But before we get started tonight, today's a very special day. Today is, and it's special, and it's poignant, and it's bittersweet. But today marks the 22nd anniversary of, hey Jan, of Frank Sinatra's passing. And so in honor of Frank, since we're cooking up some dinner, and I know that he loved Alfredo, I wanted to do something special. So tonight, I'm going to open up, I only have a couple of these, but this is a very special bottle. This is Jack Daniel's Sinatra Select. It was made in honor of Frank. It even has the fedora there. It's a really fantastic product from Jack Daniel's. And I was really thinking, got to save these for a special occasion, but we got to mark Mr. Sinatra's passing in a special way. And so it was on May the 14th of 1998, and I woke up to the news that Frank had succumbed to a heart attack at Cedars-Sinai. And it was a devastating day because we lost one of the great voices of all time. So before we get started cooking, I just want to say, Mr. Sinatra, you live on. Thank you very much for the music. I got Frank playing. And here's to you, sir. Oh, that is smooth and delicious. All right. So we've got our Sinatra Select. Let's talk about Alfredo. It's easy and it's pretty quick. So what I've got going here, what you're going to need, a whole lot of Parmesan. I got about a cup and a half, 2 cups of Parmesan right there. Make sure you get the grated, not the shredded, because the shredded tends not to melt as quickly or as easily, and you want to blend it in. Now, I've got my butter already melting in the pan, so that's a half a stick, maybe a little more of butter. It looks good. Turn the heat up on that. One of the things that I like to use is this Italian butter, and you can get it at Costco. It's a little richer. It's I want to say it's not quite as sweet as American butter. So I've got that going. I got a half a stick. Some recipes call for a full stick. I thought about Googling my cardiologist to give you a recommendation, but anybody, after you have this meal, any one of the fine cardiologists that practice over at Eisenhower will be happy to take care of you. So we're gonna whip it up. You gotta heat up your butter, get that nice and melty, and then it's about 2 cups of heavy cream. Richard and Andrea, my wife and Richard Herwig are having an online thing going on right here. I'm watching you two. I'm standing right here, for gosh sakes. All right, I want the butter to melt a little bit, and then we're gonna bring, that looks good. About that. All right, now, the other important thing is you don't want to bring it up to a boil. You want to get it nice and warm, just to the simmer level, because then you're going to melt your Parmesan right into the sauce, but you don't want it to boil because when that happens, the cheese will start to separate and it becomes grainy, and that's not what you want with your Alfredo. You want it nice and smooth and creamy and delicious. So that's going to go. I have already cooked off my fettuccine. That's ready to go. I've also got some steamed broccoli that I'm going to serve with it. Now, a lot of folks are talking about what they like to put in their fettuccine Alfredo. Fresh peas, a number of people comment on, and I love doing that. You can slice some chicken, put it in. If you would like to put meat into that, the chicken goes great. You can, do a little carbonara where you put the peas and the bacon. It's a really versatile sauce. You can use it in a lot of different ways, but I like it in its most simple form. Just Alfredo and fettuccine. And in fact, I actually prefer, it's a spaghetti called spaghetti rigati. And it's kind of a square spaghetti, and it's got ridges, because I think it holds the sauce better than the fettuccine. But Andrew, my wife, says no additions necessary. I agree, but you can also chop up a little asparagus points, throw that in there. That's delicious. You can do it with shrimp. Brett Core says, "Peace." Brett, I believe that you were the one who bestowed upon me one of these bottles, so I thought it was appropriate to mark Mr. Sinatra's passing today, that we would toast him with a little Sinatra Select. And so, Brett, if you know how to make Alfredo, what you ought to do is just watch the comments from the peanut gallery here. All right, got a little heat under my butter and cream, and I'm gonna get this nice, and I want the butter fully melted. And again, you don't want to bring it to a boil. You want to get it just close to a boil. And I'm eyeballing my Parmesan. I think I might need a little more cream, or I'm going to be in trouble. You'll notice that I don't measure a lot in the kitchen. And normally, with some recipes I do, and I almost, I thought about this morning reprising the steak Sinatra. But we'll do that another time. It was the first recipe I did. It was great. At least turned out pretty good on my end. So anyway, I've got the butter and the cream ready to go. I'm going to put a little salt and pepper in it, just a little bit. I will tell you that I salted the fettuccine fairly well in the pot when I was boiling it. So it doesn't need a lot of salt, this dish, because the Parmesan is going to give you all of the saltiness that you really need. I like fresh ground black pepper, so we're going to put that in there. A little bit of that. You need nutmeg. I'll put that in a little bit later, but nutmeg is really important to this dish. It's what gives it that little bit of just a different flavor, and it just adds to the nuttiness of the cheese. It's perfect. A lot of recipes don't call for it, but I always put in, and you got to just put enough just to kind of see it in there. It's perfect. Just a dash, but easy. Richard Herwig. Richard, you think ketchup is spicy? I mean, seriously. This guy, I served him a ballpark Frank, and he thought it was spicy Italian sausage. So anyway, all right. We got this is up to speed. This is good. All right, so we got a little steam coming off of the cream and the butter. What you want to do is add this, and again, freshly grated, and make sure it's grated, not shredded, because this will melt and incorporate a lot easier. And I'm going to whisk it in just nice and slowly. You don't want to do it all at once. And you can do this by feel. You just want the sauce to thicken up a little bit. Get that lovely Parmesan, Parmigiano Reggiano. Nice imported Italian cheese. Oh, this is already smelling fantastic. So we're gonna just keep whisking in, and again, don't bring it to a boil. You don't wanna overheat this sauce. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Because what you want when you're finished is that really velvety, creamy finish. You don't want that kind of grainy. Sometimes, and you got to use really good Parmesan cheese, okay? Go for the good stuff. It's expensive, but that's okay. Because, look, food's important. Especially, we're still here, modified lockdown, I guess they're calling it these days. But eventually our favorite restaurants will open back up. I don't know what that's going to look like, and most of us don't. So, but I'm telling you, I want to get back to Castelli's and have their version of this delicious dish. There we go. All right, that's looking pretty good. Oh, and it's smelling fantastic. All right, So you want to just keep that and be sure to stir it. Don't let it scorch on the bottom. You don't want to burn this with the cream and the butter and all of that cheese. It'll scorch really easily. So Mike, come on over, Mike. I know you like a bourbon now and then, and this is good stuff to celebrate Frank and wonderful Alfredo, which is coming up in just a few minutes. I'm going to bring you over so you can see what's going on here. I want you to take a look at this. Uh-oh, I'm tethered. Hold on. Now we got it. Pardon the fact that the stove is a mess. We've been doing a lot of cooking and not as much cleaning as we should. Okay, see that? It's just bubbling, but it's not boiling, and you don't want it to. So that's looking pretty good. All right, let's put a little more cheese in there. Oh yeah, there we go. And you can do this, really, it's just a matter of how thick you want the sauce. I like it really nice and thick and really, really cheesy. But if you want to make it a little bit lighter, you can do that. Don't add quite as much of the Parmesan cheese. But for me, it's just got to be that hearty, super thick and delicious. Now, we've added the cheese. Time for a little nutmeg. Don't overdo it with the nutmeg, but you need to put enough in so that you can see it and you're going to get a little taste. There we go. That should be just about perfect. And you get that wonderful aroma. It imparts just a little bit of color to the sauce. Oh, I think that's just about perfect. Except we might need a little more Parmesan. There we go. And again, you can add all kinds of wonderful things if you want to saute shrimp and roll this into the dish, the fresh peas, a lot of different vegetables. It's the basis for a great carbonara. We're just about there. And it's that quick and easy. It doesn't take a lot of time. Is there curbside pickup? There's no curbside pickup. We're getting real close to eating that though. But once again, toast to Mr. Sinatra. I remember waking up that morning and I was a co-host of a morning radio show. And the show actually started before I went in. I came in for the last 3 hours of the show. And so that morning I got up and my show prep was to listen to what my co-host was doing already. And I heard him come on and he had sort of this quiet voice. He was unusually subdued and he announced that Sinatra had passed away of a heart attack at Cedars-Sinai. And it was devastating. And I've been a Sinatra fan since I was a little kid, and I was working in Virginia at the time, and my mother called me with condolences. I was like, I didn't know Frank personally. I'd met him once in Vegas. I actually, at the television station where I was working, people sent me flowers, which was a very, very sweet thing. But I remember that day very distinctly. But thankfully, we have a great heritage of Sinatra here in the Coachella Valley, and I got to know Mrs. Sinatra through my friends Brett and Mary Coor. So it was remarkable to get to know her and to talk about Frank. But I miss Frank daily. It's always great to have his great music. All right, let's check on the sauce. I think we're coming along. Oh, that's just about perfect. So I've got the heat just about right. You're going to get a little steam. You're going to get just a little bit of bubble going on here, but not a lot, okay? See that? That's pretty much perfect. All right, so we're going to plate that up. What I like to do all right, I've already done my fettuccine. It's ready to go. But the way to make this work is you take it. I'm going to make a mess, but you put it right in the sauce, okay? Put it right in the pan with your sauce. Stir that around until the noodles are perfectly coated, every one of them. You want every bit of that cheesy goodness to be all over the fettuccine, right? It's the way it's got to be. So you stir that around. And the nice thing is, if you do the pasta beforehand like I did today, this will heat it right back up and it's ready to go. Stir that up. Don't worry, sweetheart. I will clean up the kitchen when I'm done, I promise. Oh, I'm making a sloppy plate, but a good looking plate. Now, we want to finish it off with a little more Parmesan right on top, just like that. I'll bring it right over to the camera. Okay, so there's the fettuccine with the delicious Alfredo sauce, but then I take just a little bit of Italian herb just for a little color, all right? That's just a little bit of Italian parsley and oregano and basil, and I sprinkle that on top. Beautiful, just like that. And, as I said, let's see. I got some nice broccoli florets. So there you go. Fettuccine Alfredo and some deliciously steamed broccoli florets. Steamed them, and then I pour a little olive oil and a little salt and pepper. And once again, it's easy. It's just butter, cream, and cheese and nutmeg. That's it, salt and pepper, and you're ready to go. You can make this and you whip it up. What, we've been going for, I don't know, 15 minutes, and dinner is ready. Thanks, guys, for checking out our delicious dish. And once again, we toast Mr. Francis Albert Sinatra on this, the 22nd anniversary of his passing. We're very lucky that he called the Coachella Valley home for nearly 50 years, and he has a great legacy here. And now I'm going to turn up some Frank. I'm going to refresh my Sinatra Select, and I'm going to enjoy some delicious Alfredo. And I'll post the recipe. I posted all the ingredients earlier. It's just that easy. You guys have a great evening and a great weekend. Everybody stay safe, stay home if you can, and just make sure that we get through this by doing a lot of good cooking and all those great things that we can do at home and enjoy ourselves. Have a great evening. Thanks for checking out the recipe.